Dan Foley with PHC News. I'm at the 2015 AHR Expo in Chicago. I'm with Simon Oline with the Utica Boiler. Simon, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Dan.
I know a lot of your products, but I've not seen this product before. What is this?
Yeah, this is a new product for us. It's our entry-level Combi boiler. It's 85% efficient, and one of the real unique features of this is that you can vent it into a chimney.
Into a clay tile chimney, a B-vent chimney, line chimney?
Both. As long as it's a line chimney, it follows the same rules as a cast iron boiler.
I see. So this does both space heat and domestic heat?
Correct. Yes, it's going to do both. You're going to get 3.6 gallons a minute at a 70-degree rise.
Right.
And if you wanted to go up to 6.3 gallons a minute, you get about a 40-degree rise out of it.
I see. So does this come in different sizes, one size?
We have a 150, which is our Combi, and then we have two heat-only versions, and a 100 and a 130.
I see, I see. And is this a modulating? Or?
It's a full modulation of 3-to-1 turn down.
But not condensing?
Non-condensing boiler. One thing nice about not having condensing is you don't have to worry about putting a condensate pump, what to do with it, the yearly maintenance is easier.
Right. No, we're in a lot of basements where there's no floor drain or even a set tub. Even if you had a pump, you can't easily pump the condensate to an internal drain, and of course you know what happens if you pump it outside, it's going to
freeze up on you.
So this is a very versatile product, but this is your entry-level product though.
This is our entry-level product, yes. Yeah, we have a few other ones that get into the stainless steel heat exchanger, and it's a condensing 95% efficient model.
Why don't you show me those?
Absolutely. Take a look
over here. So I'm familiar with this boiler, but this looks a little bit different. Tell me what's different about this one.
This is the entry-level model. What we've done is some guys prefer doing their own primary, secondary piping, or they prefer using a hydraulic separator. So we've taken the internal primary, secondary out of it and put it outside the boiler. Another feature that we've done here is we've taken the gas line, instead of going out of the bottom, it actually comes out of the top. Some contractors do like that because a lot of gas lines are overhead.
Sure, that simplifies the piping. So you've taken away the primary, secondary, kind of cleaned it up. What other features is this? Has the same stainless steel heat exchanger?
It's the same heat exchanger design. It's the same control platform. It's just an entry-level model, so it's a little bit less expensive than our SSC version, which is our top of the line model.
But it does have the same control.
Same control package, still 95% efficient. It has the same Argus Vision control readout on the side here. So if the contractor's used to the SSC, he could still try one of these out and it would be the same platform.
Now how about venting? How are we going to vent this boiler?
This boiler can be vented in CPVC, PVC, or polypropylene. So it still uses the same venting parameters as our SSC would.
And Simon, how far can I go with that vent pipe?
For 50,000 BTU, you can go 100 feet and 2-inch. For the 75 and the 100, you're at 50 feet for the 2-inch. If you want to go longer than that, you can go to the 3-inch pipe and you get 100 feet out of it.
So you can go a good distance with this.
You get 100 feet out of all of them, yeah.
And how many sizes does this come in?
This comes up to the 200,000 BTU. So you got a 50, a 75, a 100, a 150, and a 200.
I gotcha. So this is going to be a residential, maybe light commercial.
Residential, light commercial. You know, another application for it is if you had a boiler that already had primary, secondary, and you're up to replace it, this is a great option for you to replace it.
Simplifies the piping. How about the condensate? Where do I drain the condensate on this?
The condensate drains out of the bottom. We do ship with a pre-glued trap. So it's a PVC trap already glued up and it has a vent on the top so you don't have to worry about that.
So it makes it real simple to install. I like the cover. It comes off with one clip as well. Not a bunch of screws that you're going to lose or have a hard time putting back together again. Makes it real easy.
Nice gravity fit, and that's what they did. They liked that, and a lot of contractors said they wanted to see a one-piece jacket on this one, so we went with that.
Nice boiler. We have to give this one a try. What's the next step up from this?
The next step up from this would be the SSC, and that would be the top line boiler. We'll go over here and take a look at that.
Let's have a look at it. So Simon, tell me about this boiler. This is your full-featured boiler? This is your top of the line?
Yep, this is our full-featured boiler. This has the primary, secondary built into it. It also has a low water cutoff with this boiler.
Well, you know, that's code in my jurisdiction. We have to provide them. Now that it's it's factory provided, that makes it a lot easier for us as a contractor.
Yeah, it's a great feature for these boilers, and a lot of places now, even if they didn't have a low water cutoff in the code, they're starting to introduce that, so it's becoming more and more prevalent. The contractors really like the primary, secondary built in, because there's some confusion sometimes as to where do I make that, how close do I put the teeth, so we've done the engineering for them inside the boiler.
Well, show me where the primary, secondary is and how it's piped in.
Well, you got the primary, secondary up here. These are really your closely spaced tees. All right, you got the internal pump running the boiler only. So you still have to add one external pump.
Sure.
But if you can do a cast iron boiler, you can do one of these.
Pipe
turn
it in,
in,
pipe it out.
That's it.
Even I can figure that one out, Simon.
We all can, right?
Yeah, yeah. What's the purpose of the ball valve here then?
The ball valve here is if you ever wanted to do external primary secondary, you could shut that off and put some T's outside of there if you need to. If you're into the replacement market or you just wanted to do it yourself.
So this gives you a lot of flexibility.
It's very flexible. We also use that for purging purposes.
Okay.
It can be hard to get the air out of these boilers, so if you shut that off, it forces the water through the heat exchanger.
Right. And I see you got the gas shutoff valve. The gas comes in the bottom.
Gas comes in the bottom on this one.
Top or the bottom or either?
Connections are on the bottom for this one. Gas is on the bottom. Drains on the bottom for the condensate. This actually has a condensate trap built into the base of the boiler down here. So that's built in.
Really simplifies things. It simplifies the piping.
Yes, it does.
Simon, tell me about this control. Does it have outdoor reset built into it?
The outdoor reset is built into it. We ship every boiler with a sensor. That sensor gets hooked up down here to our low voltage terminal strip. It'll automatically do the outdoor reset.
And just pull thermostat wire to the outside.
Thermostat wire to the outside, yep.
Very nice.
Our outdoor reset is really designed around baseboard, because that's the majority of the market is baseboard.
Right.
If you wanted to go to a radiant system, you can adjust inside the control to max it out at 120. Or maybe you have a hydrocoil system where you want to go higher on the bottom end. You can do that as well.
And how high can you go with this boiler? What temperature?
You can go up to 196 is the max setting on it.
But obviously you want to go with the lowest water temperature that'll satisfy the demand to maximize
the lower temperature the better. It's going to condense more often.
Very nice.
Keep you in the high efficiency range.
Very nice. Looks like a nice boiler.
Very nice boiler. Another thing that we have going on is actually a new training program. We introduced it last year, and it's called our Hydronic Boot Camp. And what we're trying to do is not just bring contractors in and have them sit through a training just on our product. We want to bring them in and make them better installers.
Where's that at? That's at your factory headquarters?
We have them at our offices in New England. We have them at factory in Utica and Dunkirk. And we also have them throughout the country as, Chicago, Michigan, other areas that we're set up on.
And is that geared towards the service technician, to the installer, to the sales technician?
It's really geared towards the installer and the service technician.
Sure.
The sales guy, they're going to get something out of it, but it's a really deep dive into hydronics as a total industry. Why do we do primary, secondary piping? Why do we use ECM pumps?
Right.
What is going on in the industry and where are we headed to? And we're really trying to teach the guys that.
Right, so it's a technical style class.
Very, very technical class.
I'm all for training, so that's good. Good to see that. Why don't we take a look at your heat exchanger next?
We'll take a look over here at the heat exchanger design and some of the new displays that we've made up.
Perfect. Okay, we're back with Simon from Utica Boiler. Simon, you guys have a very unique heat exchanger design, one that I've never seen in the industry. Talk to me about it.
This is our own heat exchanger design. It is owned by Utica Boilers, ECR International. It's a vertically mounted stainless steel heat exchanger. We got 316L on the tubes, 444 stainless steel fins on that, and it's a wide open passageway. Another unique feature, it is self-cleaning. Because it's horizontal, anything that builds up on there when you have the expansion and contraction going on of the heating cycle, it's going to break off anything that's building up and then wash it down with the condensate.
So with the wide passageways, you have a low pressure drop. You don't need a high head pump.
Yep, you don't need a high head pump to run the boiler, and that does help. One of the unique things is that wide passageway for the water side. So if debris were to come through there, it doesn't get stuck inside the tubes, it would pass right through and out the other side.
It flushes out and stays clean on both the inside, the boiler side, and on the combustion side.
Yes. Even on the internal side, if you get coating in there, the expansion and contraction of that pipe can break that free to keep the heat exchanger clean.
Simon, in my market, we require an ASME H stamp on all our boilers. Does your heat exchanger carry that H stamp?
We do carry an H stamp. We're actually rated at 150 PSI, which is very high for this market.
Sure, so you can use it for commercial applications as well.
Speaking of commercial applications, we actually, from this base design, which is what we originally came out with, we developed a 299 boiler.
Let's take a look at that.
That would be this heat exchanger over here. So you have much more fin, much more tubing inside of it. It's a little bit taller, and you have this dual diameter can around it. That creates more turbulence inside of this. You get more heat absorption up top in the heat exchanger.
Right. I noticed that the housing at the bottom of the collector box is some type of plastic. Talk to me about this.
Yep. Yeah, we actually went with a polypropylene flue collector down here, and the heat exchanger sits down inside of it, which helps with the water flow, the way the condensate goes in. Its directional flow is corrected. The other thing that we've done in here is when they were developing this, they changed the refractory inside of it to help disperse the heat across the fins evenly.
I see.
When they did that, they decided, well, let's use that in all our products. It's actually a patent pending design. That's what we have over here.
Interesting.
This is our new refractory.
And that's used on both these heat exchangers, or just on the commercial? Both of them?
Both of them. Once they developed it in the larger, the 299 boiler, they decided to implement it in the smaller units to help out with that.
And this is something your engineers innovated specifically for this heat exchanger?
Specifically for this, yeah.
To maximize the efficiency.
It does. It maximizes the efficiency. It actually takes the heat and disperses it evenly over the coils.
Is this something you ever need access to or servicing it? Or is
you don't have to service it, it's built right into the heat exchanger. You would be able to see this from the top. If you were to take the top off, you'd look right down and see that. And any of the cleaning that needs to be done would be in the base, which is a self-cleaning design, so it's taken care of by the product.
Right, so it makes it very simple to maintain and operate this boiler.
Correct.
Okay, I'm back with Simon with Utica Boiler. Simon, I'm a technician. I like to see the technical aspects of your boiler. Show me what's inside this combi unit.
Oh, let's take a look inside here. So inside this boiler we have the ribbon burners down below. This is your copper heat exchanger design. The thing that's unique is that we can vent it to a chimney, which is displayed here. The reason we can do that is if you look inside of here, you see this tube?
I do.
That goes to a venturi inside the fan. So it's actually measuring the draft that's in the chimney and modulating the fan around that draft. That's why you can vent it into a chimney.
So it can regulate if you got a high draft or a low draft.
Yep, it's going to modulate the fan off of that. Yep.
What if I don't want to go into a chimney? I just want to vent directly to the sidewall. I can do that with this.
You can do that with this as well. What we do is you use the stainless steel venting, and you stay with 3-inch, and you go right out the side wall. It's also sealed combustion, so you can take PVC and run that to the outside and use outside air.
Seal it. I got you. I got you. And now we can also do domestic hot water with this.
It does domestic hot water, and you got your stainless steel brace plate in the back here.
I see that. Yes. No condensate drain on this.
There's no condensate drain on this. It's 85% efficient, so you're not going to have it condensing.
Right.
The benefit of that is you don't have to run a drain anywhere. You don't have to worry about that.
Now, what if you got LP? Is it a separate unit, or do you do a field conversion?
We have a field conversion for that. You take the ribbon burners out, and there's an orifice kit that goes in the back here.
Right, so it makes it easy to do LP or natural gas. Great. Looks like a good product. Thanks, Simon.
You're welcome.